Hello, my name is Deanna Parker, and I'm an academic coach here at SNHU. Welcome to this guide on creating Works Cited using MLA 9th edition. In this video, we will take a look at how to create a Works Cited entry for print books, eBooks, journal articles from a database, and two different types of online resources. Learning MLA can feel pretty overwhelming, so the first thing to do is to distinguish the in-text citation from the Works Cited. The in-text citation is a short reference in the body of the paper as you are directly quoting, paraphrasing, or summarizing. It typically has two parts, the author's last name and the page number. For example, if the author you are directly quoting, summarizing, or paraphrasing has the last name Smith and the section you are citing is on page 105, then the in-text citation would be placed in parentheses like this. Be sure to have any necessary sentence punctuation fall after the parentheses. A Works Cited page is at the end of your paper and will list out all of your sources, or think of it as listing more detail for all of your in-text citations. Remember, every source on the Works Cited list should refer to an in-text citation and vice versa. A great analogy is to think of the in-text citation and your works cited like the top and bottom pieces of bread in a sandwich. You need to have both in order to make a complete sandwich. You might be wondering how to create a works cited entry or what exactly goes into one. Well, a works cited entry can be created using the MLA template of core elements, which is a list of facts common to most sources. These include the author, the title of the works, the container, which is what the works is contained within, the contributor, and things like the version, number, publisher, publication date, and location. Notice how the template uses proper punctuation after each element. Some of these common resource facts will vary by source type, and certain sources will not have all of these facts. In that case, omit the pieces not available. Let's review a few common source types. Creating a works cited list entry for a book includes the author, the title, the publisher, and the publication date. Keep in mind that other elements might need to be included depending on the type of book. For example, if it's an edited or translated edition. The author will be listed by last name, comma first name, and have a period after their first name. If there are two authors, list the first author as last name, comma first name, and the second author as first name and last name, with a period after the second author. If there are more than two authors, list the first author listed on the works, followed by ET space AL period, also known as et al. List the title in italics with a period after it. List the publisher with a comma after it, followed by the date of publication with a period at the end. The date of publication could be just a year, a month and a year, or a season and a year. When put together, the works cited entry will look like this. Be sure to have a hanging indent if your works cited runs into more than one line. The ebook works cited entry will look very similar to the print entry. It will have an author and a title, but it will also include a version, as the version here is the ebook edition. Next, the publisher and the publication date will be listed. Filling in the template will enable us to create the works cited with more confidence and ease. When citing a journal article from a database, we begin with the author and the title, followed by the container. The container in this case is the journal, the name of the journal. Include the version and number, the publisher and publication date, and the location would be the DOI. When we fill in the template of information available, we are left with a works cited entry that will look very similar to this example. Sometimes we find articles online from a newspaper, such as the New York Times. Look for the author, the title, making sure that you use quotes around the title as it would be considered a short works. Then find the publisher and the publication date and use the URL without the HTTP as the location. Completing the template ensures our online newspaper article looks something like this example. When citing a web page, we always want to start with the author. However, web pages don't always have individual authors. Instead, sometimes they have organizations, corporations, or government agencies as the author or owner of the information. In this case, that group entity would be the author. For example, on the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or CDC website, there is no individual author on this page. However, in this case, the author, or the CDC, is the same as the publisher. So in this case, we would omit the author and place the CDC as the publisher. Be sure to write out the name of the organization, corporation, or government agency rather than abbreviating them. In this video, we have discussed creating a Works Cited entry for MLA 9th edition for a print book and an ebook, journal articles from a database, and 2 different types of online resources. Thank you for watching. We hope to work with you soon.